Right now this morning, a live look outside. It is an alert day as we clean up from yesterday's snow. And our storm runner is out this morning on the roads for you, tracking conditions to make sure you can get to work or school safely. We'll take a closer look in just a few minutes.
It is a weather alert day, icy roadways. This is through the morning commute as well as finishing out the remainder of this morning. Hazardous road travel due to icy road conditions could be quite dangerous out there, so please take it easy. Everyone is affected with this as well as we get into your forecast. I'll have more about this coming up for you in just a moment.
This is News 8 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alexandra Carter. It is Thursday, March 20th, 2025. It is the first day of spring, allegedly. That is the word from Art Jarrett, at least. Art, it's hard to believe that, isn't it?
It is hard to believe. In fact, as you get into it here, as I mentioned before, we have got the alert day, but we're also going to be seeing as we get into the morning hours, we have icy road conditions for you, so please stay alert out there. We'll also have this go into the remainder of the morning, as I mentioned just before, and then spring-like conditions start to return into the forecast later on today. Well, is it, or is it just the real deal? Because it is spring. At 4:01 this morning, spring started this early morning at our time. We're holding on to most of that snow backing out of the area as we get into it. Local temperatures right now in the 20s widespread. It feels a little bit colder on your skin, and I know it's not that cold for some of you out there, but you're looking at it. It feels like 16 degrees in Ladysmith. It feels like 17 degrees in Eau Claire. It feels like 17 degrees in Winona, 16 degrees in La Crosse. We'll get into it here as we get into Onalaska. You see some of the snow that's still out there, but the roadways have been plowed, even though they are looking pretty good for folks that are out there traveling nicely on the roadways here from La Crosse. We'll get right back into it as we go into Menominee. They're doing pretty well out there as well. When I come back, I'll have an overview of how the next couple of days shape up going into your weekend, so please stick around.
All right, Art, thank you. Now, taking another quick look at the roads. This is a live look here from our storm runner on the roads patrolling for you this morning. Right now, he is right by UWL. You can see here heading toward the north side toward Onalaska. You can see from the shot the roads are looking a little bit slick. There is some leftover snow there. Definitely some slick spots that you could encounter, but as you can see, things not looking too rough out there. So give yourself some extra time. Take it slow. You should be all right. We'll check back in with him as he gets closer to Onalaska. And a snow emergency, that is in effect in La Crosse this morning. That also means alternate side parking also in effect. Residents must park on the even number side of the street in La Crosse today. Switch to the odd numbered side tomorrow. The snow emergency remains in effect until midnight tomorrow. City officials can, of course, extend that if they need to. And the snow is forcing several area schools to delay start times this morning. 2-hour delays are now in effect for Hiawatha Valley Education District, Houston, La Crescent Hoka, and Spring Grove. You can check news8000.com for an updated list. And the spring weather also causing impacts to airports across our area. Minneapolis reporting 26 cancellations this morning. Rochester sitting at 9 grounded. Madison showing 3. Here in La Crosse, we have got 2 cancellations. Don't forget, you can track this weather wherever you are by downloading our First Warn weather app. You can download that in the App Store or on Google Play. This afternoon, President Donald Trump is expected to sign his long-awaited executive order dismantling the Department of Education, a key campaign promise of his. Meanwhile, the Trump administration could be closer to a partial ceasefire deal between Russia and Ukraine after 3 long years of fighting. CBS's Natalie Brand reports.
Today, President Trump is expected to make good on another campaign promise.
We will ultimately eliminate the Federal Department of Education. We'll send it back to the states.
The White House says he will sign an executive order to begin dismantling the Department of Education, though total elimination would require congressional approval. A senior official also tells CBS News the order does not change federal student loans or Title I, which provides financial assistance to children from low-income families. Also, a federal judge, after extending a previous deadline, is still demanding answers by today from the Trump administration on why his orders to halt 2 deportation flights to El Salvador carrying alleged gang members over the weekend were ignored.
Court filings show the administration may use the state secrets privilege to try and block the judge from seeing some information about the removals.
Meanwhile, the White House says President Trump proposed that the U.S. take control of Ukraine's power plants to ensure their security during his one-hour phone call with the country's leader Volodymyr Zelensky yesterday. The president described their first call since their Oval Office clash as very good. Zelensky also said he's on board with a partial ceasefire on energy and infrastructure, something also discussed with Russian President Vladimir Putin during President Trump's Tuesday call. White House officials say negotiations could begin as early as this weekend in Saudi Arabia.
Back to the president's order to dismantle the Department of Education. The order also does not address special education and services for children with disabilities. We'll, of course, keep you updated on that today. Local teachers taking to the streets yesterday in response to these cuts. Logan Middle School faculty staging a walk-in amid news that the president plans to dismantle the Department of Education today. 7th grade teacher Jesse Martinez organized the demonstration to highlight what's at stake if federal education oversight ends.
The Trump administration is actively working to shut down the Department of Education at the federal level, which would slash funding for our most vulnerable students, students with disabilities, students who struggle with reading, writing, and math. And so we're out here today saying that we won't allow that to happen quietly.
Martinez says more walkouts could be organized. Minnesota lawmakers, meanwhile, fighting potential Trump administration cuts to mental health funding. Representatives Angie Craig and Kelly Morrison met with healthcare providers in Minneapolis yesterday. They warned Minnesota could lose $5 billion in research grants if the National Institutes of Health budget is cut.
This really should not be a partisan issue. It should not be a partisan issue, and mental health and mental illness obviously are not partisan issues. They impact all of us. We need President Trump and congressional Republicans to remember that and to prioritize the health of all Americans.
A federal judge temporarily blocked the proposed cuts last month after 22 states filed lawsuits. Money is pouring into Wisconsin's Supreme Court race at a record-shattering pace. The Schimmel-Crawford battle could double the previous record set by Wisconsin at $50 million. Billionaires Elon Musk and George Soros have funded both sides of this nominally nonpartisan seat. Eau Claire voters cite abortion as one of their top issues.
I don't think that we should be governed by a law that was passed before the Civil War.
We have a conservative biblical worldview on everything. That's how we feel the greatest success comes from, even through the Constitution. I think that's what he stands for.
Wisconsin's Supreme Court has heard a case challenging the state's 1849 law banning almost all abortion. A quick reminder, News 8 will host a La Crosse mayoral debate at 7 o'clock tomorrow, live in our studio. You can watch it on 8.2 and our digital platforms. La Crosse in-person absentee voting continues today. La Crosse voters can cast your ballot at City Hall from 8 to 4 and the Move Cultural and Community Agency from 10 to 2. Eau Claire residents can vote at City Hall from 9 to 4. Early voting runs through the 28th. Election day is April 1st. A former Sparta pastor pleaded no contest to sexually assaulting a church member. 47-year-old Travis Becknell faces charges of inappropriately touching a woman after church revivals. According to a complaint, he also sent hundreds of text messages, some sexual in nature. The New Hope Fellowship pastor's plea deal requires sex offender treatment and 100 hours of community service. Guilty verdicts in Minnesota's historic pandemic fraud case, a scheme that stole $250 million meant to feed hungry children. A jury convicted Amy Bach and Salim Saeed on multiple counts, including wire fraud and bribery conspiracy. Prosecutors called Bach the mastermind who orchestrated the theft of $250 million from that program meant to feed hungry children. Saeed, a former restaurant owner, fabricated meal counts to maximize federal payments.
The Feeding Our Future case has come to symbolize the problem of fraud in our state. It has become the shame of Minnesota. Hopefully, today's verdict will help turn the page on this awful chapter in our state's history.
Unauthorized pay hikes and millions in spending uncovered at UW-Madison. An internal review found former Vice Chancellor Dr. LeVar Charleston gave 12 employees raises up to 23% without justification. The same investigation revealing his department spent $2.6 million on travel, development, and events last year. Charleston stepped down in January after serving 3 years. UW La Crosse Police pursuing top law enforcement accreditation. A Wisconsin law enforcement accreditation team toured campus to review its policies and operations. The process included a public session yesterday where community members shared feedback.
Any feedback and input is good for the department, and we can always take that and do better if we feel like, if it seems like there needs to be an improvement made. Otherwise, good feedback is always welcome and always nice to hear.
The department must meet 274 standards to earn its accreditation. Time now 6:10, still ahead on your morning news. The IRS could be sending taxpayer data to the DHS to tell you why. Gas prices are on their way up, and Ford is recalling 50,000 vehicles. Plus, the Federal Reserve has left interest rates unchanged. Coming up, we'll have more on the latest guidance. And for now, sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Certainly doesn't look like it, but today is the first day of spring, the first official day of the season, representing the vernal equinox in the northern hemisphere. That is when the sun aligns with the Earth's equator. While some regions may still see a late season chill like us, today is meant to be the day that promises blooming gardens, outdoor adventures, and patio season is finally here. At least almost here. I can't wait. And a stark contrast. Here's what we're dealing with in reality this morning. This is on Highway 16 and on Alaska. You can see right by the mall. Storm Runner is out on the roads this morning. The roads aren't looking too bad, but there are some residual spots out there. Give yourself a couple extra minutes and stay with us. We'll have more road updates for you and your forecast update after the break.
Growing up in Chippewa Falls, we had some tough times. My little sister was born with special needs, so I became her protector. And when my dad was laid off, we all had to step up. Along the way, I learned a lot about hard work, common sense, and most of all, what it means to look out for people. I'm Susan Crawford, and looking out for people is why I became a prosecutor and a judge. And it's what I'll do every day on the Supreme Court.
The new Nacho Taco Bravo from Taco John's. Our famous beef crispy taco wrapped in a soft tortilla, all held together by refried beans and warm nacho cheese. This is Nacho Average Taco. Get 2 for just $6, only at Taco John's.
At Overhead Door Company, we repair any garage door and only install the best. Serving up to 100 miles outside of the Onalaska, Wisconsin area. When you need a door company you can trust with your life, call Overhead Door Company of the Seven Rivers region.
A 5-year-old girl violated. The predator faced up to 60 years behind bars. Radical Susan Crawford sided with him, released on a $500 bond, and lived across from a school. His sentence, just 4 years in prison. Now he's free. All because Susan Crawford and her warped, soft-on-crime agenda. Catch and release Crawford. Don't take the risk. Fair Courts America is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Get the lowest prices of the year during sales fair at Nelson Agri Center on now through Saturday, March 22nd. Get huge savings on Milwaukee power tools. Stock up on paint with our buy one, get one specials. We'll have deals on fencing, gates, seeds, and more for your farm. Plus, get an $8 store credit towards already low prices with the junk battery trade-in sale. Thousands of items will be on sale at the lowest prices of the year at Nelson Agri Center, downtown Viroqua.
Verizon and AT&T announced price hikes a total of 10 times in the past 2 years. Doesn't that blow your mind? Families can switch to T-Mobile and get all the benefits of their plans while saving 20%. T-Mobile blows the competition away.
T-Mobile will also give you up to $800 when you switch.
Mind blown. Is that a jet engine?
Go to T-Mobile.com to see how families can save 20% and get $800.
That's lunch.
I think every natural instinct of a parent is to protect their children. It's terrifying that Susan Crawford would consider a 4-year sentence appropriate for raping a child. Honestly, I can't even wrap my head around it. That she would allow a child rapist to walk free. My worst nightmare as a mom, it's really disqualifying. I don't think Susan Crawford deserves to wear the rope.
All right, looking at our local weather here as we get into it here, we're looking at through this morning commute as well as the rest of the morning hours. We're holding on to this hazardous road travel due to icy roadways, and those conditions could be quite dangerous for you. So please take it slow this early morning. It's going to affect everyone and everywhere that you're going to be on the roadways locally and then down to the south as well as to the east. You're holding on to this. Stay alert during your morning commute as well because you've got the icy roadways out there. Still a little bit dark out there as well. And of course, it is the first day of spring. Spring is now here for us, and it started at 4:01 this early morning. We already had the equinox, and that continues to move through the area. We're also looking at, again, 40s, holding on to our local forecast. Some 30s intermixed in there as well. Sunshine will be coming into our forecast after we have those cloudy skies kind of coming and going, but we'll eventually get into this as we get into it here. The clouds will dissipate. We'll open up the skies, getting into 30s for the morning hours. Then once we get into the afternoon by 4 o'clock, you're looking at temperatures around, say, 39, 35. You get in Black River Falls. Most of the cold is right around here in the central portion of the region from La Crosse, working all the way to Black River Falls and down to Viroqua, and even warming up down to 36 degrees and 35 degrees for Prairie du Chien and Boscobel. We'll get into the 8 o'clock hour, holding on to 30s and 20s in the forecast, and eventually we'll see those 20s continue to get a little bit on the wider side here on the scale as we go into Friday in the morning hours. Zone forecast is taking you into conditions that are going to be pretty nice as well for La Crosse County. You can see Shelby holding on to 42, La Crosse at 42, 39 for Bar Mills, and eventually with the forecast is going to be pretty nice for everybody else for the remainder of the day. So I have more about that coming up for you in just a moment.
In your morning consumer news, a major shift in how your tax information could be used. The Trump administration confirms talks between the IRS and Homeland Security about sharing confidential taxpayer data. Critics say the move could lead to deportations using information people provided for tax purposes. 2 immigrant rights groups have filed a lawsuit challenging the plan. Justice Department lawyers say any sharing would be limited to specific individual requests, not a database. Some bad news at the pump if you haven't noticed. According to AAA, prices are up. In La Crosse, we're seeing average prices up 16 cents, 10 cents in Eau Claire. Nationally, a gallon jumped 10 cents as well. Wisconsin's average is 14 cents lower than the national, which is sitting at $2.96. And Ford is recalling more than 50,000 vehicles this morning for incorrect repairs. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says there were 4 prior recalls for camera, battery, and window issues, but the vehicles weren't fixed right. 2 of the previous recalls involved distorted rear view cameras. 1 concerned a low battery module. The last involved windows not automatically retracting when they encounter obstacles like fingers. As expected, the Federal Reserve left interest rates unchanged yesterday, but they did give some guidance on when a cut could be coming. Bradley Blackburn tells us more.
The latest data shows inflation is slowing down, but the Federal Reserve believes that could change. And Chair Jerome Powell says interest rates are not being cut for now.
We do not need to be in a hurry to adjust our policy stance, and we are well positioned to wait for greater clarity.
The board believes inflation will rise slightly by the end of the year. Unemployment will tick up and the overall economy will slow down. But the central bank is making these projections while navigating a road filled with lots of unknowns, including what impact the Trump administration's tariff proposals could have.
Uncertainty around the changes and their effects on the economic outlook is high.
So remember, those tariffs, they might lead to slower economic growth, and they also might lead to higher prices.
CBS News business analyst Joe Schlesinger says even with many factors up in the air, the Fed is still penciling in 2 interest rate cuts this year. Right now, many analysts don't believe a cut will happen until the summer.
Given where we are, we think our policy is in a good place to react to what comes, and we think that the right thing to do is to wait here for greater clarity about what the economy is doing.
Surveys show Americans are concerned about the economy. A measure called consumer sentiment recently hit the lowest level since 2022.
That's a look at your consumer news. We'll send it back over to Art now. He's got a look at our first day of spring forecast.
Yay, 4:01 this morning. That occurred. In fact, we're holding on to, again, as we go into the, we've got a weather alert day. This has going through the morning hours, and especially for this morning commute because of the hazardous road travel. A lot of folks on the road so getting to where they need to go this early morning. We'll get into it. That's going to affect everyone everywhere. Holding on to near Toma, going towards Shelby as well, going that way. And then you can see these folks going towards Toma there looking pretty good on the roads for themselves thus far. However, as we get through into sunrise, we'll also be seeing the icier conditions moving in the forecast. We get a little bit on the colder side. Ridgeway is looking pretty good too. 26 degrees it feels out there, 16 degrees on your skin. Once again, back into the La Crosse County area, we're looking at West Salem, about 40 degrees under mostly sunny skies. Everybody's going to have some pretty good looking temperatures later on today as we get into the forecast for the afternoon. But for this early morning, it's going to be cold. It's also going to be a little bit breezy. Winds are going to continue to hold on all the way into at least the 8 o'clock hour. Then they'll begin to break on down and taper off. We'll see as we go down to the south zone, Prairie du Chien, 41 degrees, mostly sunny skies for you. 40s also as you get into areas right by Steuben. You're looking at 40 degrees for you there, and then taking it back up to the central zone. Ocio, 42 degrees, holding on to plenty of sunshine today. And then back up to Eau Claire, you're looking at northward there. You're looking at there at least 44 degrees. Fall Creek at 43, and getting into areas right by Stanley, you're looking at 42 degrees there. Here are those winds. They'll continue to back off as we get into the 8 o'clock hour. Those winds are up to 23, 24, 25 miles per hour. They back down. Getting to the 9 o'clock hour, you're seeing them all the way breaking down to at least 13 mile per hour wind gusts or less. In fact, you'll see as we go into Friday, you're looking at breezier and gustier winds coming in with a little bit of snow well up to the north between Rhinelander as well as Eau Claire and Ladysmith. We'll also pick up a little light rainfall trying to scoop right past La Crosse and then over areas by Sparta as well as getting into portions of Black River Falls. Then that starts to clear out once we get in the 7 o'clock hour. Those skies begin to open up, and then we get into the overnight going into Saturday where a little bit of cloud cover starts to come back again with rainfall coming in. This will be a mix of rain and snow, possibly working the forecast over by Eau Claire. Some of that will be lighter cutting across from the river, getting into the forecast going into Sunday where we're seeing more widespread rainfall moving in the forecast as well, carrying over all the way through Sunday. You can go from the morning hours all the way to sunrise and beyond into the afternoon. Heavier rainfall coming in. This is about an 80% chance, I believe it is, with a mix of rain and snow in the forecast. Mostly that rain and snow is up to the north with rainfall down to the south by La Crosse, getting to Prairie du Chien. As we go into tomorrow, we're looking at skies to be at least partly to mostly cloudy skies. The cloudy conditions working in the daytime for you into the evening hours. It begins to break down. We'll do the same for Eau Claire as well, getting into partly to mostly cloudy skies and cloudier conditions to fiddle in. And then, of course, that rain and snow possibly staying up to the north and kind of working into the south with the rainfall. You'll get back into it over the next few days here, as I mentioned before, an alert day for this morning. Then tomorrow, 20% chance of rainfall, getting into milder conditions for Saturday. Then we go into about an 80% chance of rainfall for Sunday, and then a mix of rain and snow coming in for Monday, carrying over into maybe a slight chance for Tuesday going into Wednesday. Be safe out there and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Art. Coming up, doctors told her to get rid of her baby with a rare bone condition. Instead, she fought for his life. Now, new research proves she made the right choice. We'll share the inspiring story after your morning sports blitz.
Coming up in the Blitz, the NCAA tournament is here. Just a handful of hours before the madness begins. Hear from a Badger big man as they prepare for Montana.
And checking back in on the roads this morning from our Storm Runner 8. We are in Onalaska right now. This is heading toward Main Street, or on Main Street toward the downtown area. The roads are slick, you can see from this shot. Still some slick spots, still some heavy snow kind of caked on the roads. I encountered some spots like that this morning from that thick snow we had yesterday. Overall, not looking too bad, but it is a little slick, looking quite slick in this shot. So take note if you're in Onalaska or heading that way. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
I was in a very bad relationship. After that, I made it my mission to help people. Brad Schimmel really wanted to know, how can we help survivors? He got right in there with me and did the work that needed to be done. I know Brad, the person, and I know how passionate he is about helping people. Women, sexual assault victims, children. He has made it his life's mission to help families. I know that about him.
We are all here to support one another.
Hi, I'm Greg.
Hi, Greg.
I bought our vacuum at a box store. I was shopping for groceries and I came out with a vacuum.
I did the same. I was shopping for clothes.
Candles.
Kitty litter.
Hey group, we're not here to judge. We all made the same mistake before deciding to go to A1 Vacuum to make the right purchase. I'm sorry.
A1 Kitty litter.
Our business is picking up.
A 5-year-old girl violated. The predator faced up to 60 years behind bars. Radical Susan Crawford sided with him, released on a $500 bond, and lived across from a school. His sentence, just 4 years in prison. Now he's free, all because Susan Crawford and her warped, soft-on-crime agenda. Catch and release Crawford. Don't take the risk. Fair Courts America is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Freedom is the ability to choose the path that makes you happy. Start down your path today in a Jeep.
Save over 10% off MSRP plus discounts on a 2024 Jeep Wrangler today during the Jeep Celebration Sales Event. Redesigned exterior elements and updated features offer a refreshed take on the original icon of adventure, Jeep Wrangler. This offer ends March 31st.
My last name is Pischke, and that's where you can find your Jeep. Pischke Motors West Salem or Pischke Motors La Crosse.
The Blitz. Well, today marking the beginning of the first round of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. The madness is here, but the Badgers are hoping there's no crazy upset in their matchup with Montana. Wisconsin is 40-26 all-time in the tournament. They've reached 10 Sweet 16s and 4 Final Fours. It's not the first meeting between these two programs, as the Badgers down Montana 73-49 in the first round of the 2012 national tournament. UW isn't taking their opponent lightly, but if they play their game, the round of 32 should be well within reach.
Like most mid-majors, they got a lot of shooters. They're a little undersized, but from what we saw, they play really hard. Obviously, they're a really talented team. I don't know how many they rattled off to end the season, but it was double digits, I think. But I think it's more about us than anything, and that's not just against Montana. I think that's against whoever we play. So we're just more focused on us and where we can get better. So.
And tip-off is scheduled for 12:30 on TNT. The winner will take on 11th seed VCU and 6th seed BYU on Saturday. And it's been a rough stretch for the Bucks lately as they dropped their 5th game in their last 7 2 nights ago to the Warriors, 104-93. After a big third quarter to get into a 2-point deficit, the offense looked out of sorts in the final quarter, an issue that Doc Rivers says needs to get figured out sooner rather than later.
We don't have the right space, and the ball's not moving. We're not attacking. We're not getting to the paint. I got a whole list, but we got to do it, and I got to get them to do it. That's my job, and it's on me. Like, it's my job to get them to do it offensively and to trust.
And things do not get much easier for Milwaukee either, as they have 4 more games on the West Coast, including against the Nuggets and Lakers, who are 3rd and 4th in the West. And we'll have highlights from the state semifinal action between Aquinas and Mineral Point later tonight at 10, so be sure to check back in with us for that. We'll see you then.
How corrupt is Brad Schimmel? Let's count the ways. 1. Schimmel gave a plea deal to a man caught with child porn after the man's lawyer gave his campaign thousands of dollars. 2. Schimmel let 6,000 rape kits sit untested for years, then lied about it. 3. Schimmel took thousands in campaign contributions from opioid makers, then refused to go after them when opioid deaths spiked. That's Brad Schimmel, and he's way too corrupt for the Supreme Court.
To everyone who believes in tradition, come enjoy a few of ours from Wisconsin.
People in Wisconsin love a good fish fry.
Really love. And we love sharing it with guests everywhere.
At Culver's, we still batter our North Atlantic cod by hand to order.
And we cook it to a crispy, golden perfection just for you.
For you.
For you.
So it's crispy outside, flaky inside. Let us take care of you.
With some homegrown traditions we were raised on.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious. Come to the 27th Annual Early Bird Home Show. Lowest prices of the year.
Windows, doors, patio doors, lowest price of the year.
Bath remodels, kitchen remodels, lowest prices of the year.
Pergolas, decks, or sunrooms, lowest price of the year.
Siding, trim, or gutters, lowest prices of the year.
27th Annual Early Bird Home Show, only at the Board Store, 524 Copen Avenue, La Crosse. TheBoardStoreOnline.com or call 608-782-8877.
Voters deserve to know what our records are.
Susan Crawford's record
disturbing and dangerous. A 7-year-old girl sexually assaulted. The attacker faced 100 years. Crawford let him off with only 4.
I don't regret that sentence.
A 5-year-old violated. The predator should have rotted in prison. He got out in just 2 years. She protected them, not us.
I don't regret that sentence. I am proud of the work that I've done.
Susan Crawford, putting criminals over your kids.
Wisconsin, one of those places where families spend their winters among frozen lakes and snow-covered hills. With all the fun they're having, it's easy to take for granted how they warm up, by the fire, or simply adjusting their thermostat. But for some of us, it's not that easy. Some of us need to decide whether to heat or to eat, or to further neglect our basic survival needs. We are working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans, all struggling to pay record heating bills. These dangerous temperatures aren't just uncomfortable for us, they can be deadly. If you are struggling to decide if you can put food on the table or heat your home, please reach out for a hand up. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
The place to save big money on all your home improvement needs.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
And welcome back, we're going to take another look now at the state of the roads. If you're wondering how it's looking out there this morning, this is from our Storm Runner 8. It is on Wisconsin 35 in Onalaska heading back to La Crosse. Things not looking too bad. You can see a little bit of slick spots, some leftover snow on there. I know there are some kind of packs of snow left off in random places because the snow is so heavy, but overall things are okay. Give yourself a little bit of extra time and be sure to stick with us. We'll keep checking in throughout the morning. Also happening today, a La Crosse snow emergency is in effect right now. That means so is alternate side parking. Residents must park on the even numbered side of the street today, switch to the odd number tomorrow. The snow emergency will stay in effect till midnight tomorrow. City officials can extend that though if it's necessary. And snow causing some area schools to delay starts this morning. 2-hour delays are in effect for Hiawatha Valley Education District, Houston, La Crescent Hoka, and Spring Grove Public Schools. You can check our website for the complete list of closings and delays. In your morning medical news, logging into patient portals gives you instant access to your health records, but that speed comes with some drawbacks. You may have experienced this. The 21st Century Cures Act made electronic health records more accessible for patients, but there is a downside. Many of us now see our test results and even diagnoses before we get the chance to speak with our doctor. CBS News Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Jean Lepuc recommends physicians discuss potential findings with patients before ordering the tests.
Let me explain some of these results to you beforehand. You know, here's what's happening. If you get 20 results, some of them, just by luck, are going to be outside the range. Don't freak out about that. So try to immunize them, try to educate them. But at the end of the day, you need to be available to those patients. They need, you know, my patients can contact.
Dr. Lepuc says doctors can withhold results if they think it'll cause harm to the patient. Some health apps also offer patients the ability to opt out of receiving digital results. Promising news for those at high risk of Alzheimer's disease. A new study shows an amyloid-lowering drug delayed the disease onset. Half of the study participants cut their risk of symptoms over a 17-year period. Scientists are still unsure why the drug didn't work for everyone. The study had limitations, no placebo, and only included people with rare genetic mutations that make Alzheimer's almost certain. There is new hope for babies born with a genetic bone condition that is often fatal. Stephanie Stahl has more on the new research.
Vienna Kelly is relieved to be rolling into Nemours Children's Hospital with her 1-year-old baby named Koa.
I walk in here every time not worried about his care.
Koa has osteogenesis imperfecta. OI is a rare life-threatening brittle bone condition.
But it can also increase the risk of fractures in the vertebral bodies of the spine.
Dr. Ricky Carroll says OI is usually diagnosed before a baby is born, and parents are often given a devastating choice.
And their options were either to terminate the pregnancy or to focus on comfort when they were born until they died.
Almost every doctor I saw just gave me the same answer to get rid of him, that he wouldn't live.
Koa defied the odds, and his mom quickly had him transferred to Nemours that specializes in treating the condition.
It was like taking a breath of fresh air.
And now a small new study from Nemours says fatal OI is difficult to accurately diagnose before a baby is born, and that with the right kind of care, it's not always deadly.
Many of these babies did survive, and not just survive, they are thriving. They're doing phenomenally.
Dr. Carroll says with bone strengthening medications and specialized equipment, babies like Koa can improve.
We do everything. Koa goes to museums, we go to the zoo, we go to Mommy and Me classes.
His fragile condition is challenging, but Mom says it's worth everything to her.
That's my heart outside of my body. That's my soul outside of my body. He teaches me every day how to be strong.
Learning life lessons from her little fighter.
An elementary school in Dunn County being recognized for its school counseling programs. Mound View Elementary is one of 2 Wisconsin schools to receive the Program of Excellence Award. The Department of Public Infrastructure is awarding them for the positive impacts their school counselors have on the community. Mound View is now eligible for the American School Counselor Association's RAMP designation. That is the highest national recognition for a school counseling program. A Buc-ee's in Oak Creek is getting closer to happening. In a pair of 5-to-1 votes, the Common Council there approving zoning changes for the mega gas station. It'll sit on the Elm Road exit from I-94 and have 120 gas pumps, a store, and 175 full-time jobs. In June, the council will take up design options. 6 locals are competing for a chance to lead the La Crosse Symphony Orchestra. The annual Conductor Wannabe Contest winner will take the podium this spring. Votes cost $2 minimum, with half the proceeds supporting each contestant's chosen charity. La Crosse Community Theater Executive Director Eric Vos says the event brings local nonprofits together for a common cause.
I thought it would be a fun opportunity, a good way to build more relationship between La Crosse Community Theater and the La Crosse Symphony Orchestra. So happy to be here and honored to have the chance to compete.
You can cast your vote on lacrossesymphony.org. We'll send it over now to Art. He's got an update on our morning commute.
All right, an alert day happening for us this morning because it is breezy and gusty out there. We also have icy roadways and conditions in the forecast, which could actually be an issue. We'll also see as we get into it here, you're holding on to the possibility of bringing in more of these winds that are going through the morning hours and tapering off just by the 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock hour, and we should be done with them. We'll get into it. You're going to be up to 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts and then tapering down, but they're going to start off in the 30s and near the 40s and then break down. We'll hold on to it as we go into sunrise and beyond. Sunshine for you for La Crosse today. Mostly sunny skies to partly cloudy skies, getting back into the clouds increasing as we get deeper into the afternoon and evening hours though, but still we'll get into at least comfortable conditions and they'll be seasonably mild. Eau Claire will do fairly the same as well. Holding on to average temperatures, the highs are this time of year. Wow, this is going on. I don't know what's going on, but 40s and mostly for the next few days, for the next couple of portions of this month, and then finishing out as we go into the mid-morning, mid-month of May. Are we in March? I'm so lost right now, holding on to 20s, and as we get into the forecast, we're also going to be seeing 40s and some 30s in the forecast. Holding on to that sunshine today, as I mentioned. Then once we get into Friday, conditions change just a little bit. We'll stack on the clouds, pick up the winds as well. A little bit of light rainfall up to the north. It's only a 20% chance getting into it as we go right into La Crosse as well as Sparta, picking up some of that light rain, Black River Falls. By the evening commute, you'll see more of that cloud cover dissipate. We have the winds coming through, though. They're a little bit on the breezier side. Then eventually we'll see again clearing skies as we go into the midnight hour. More snow comes back again as we get into Sunday, going into Monday as well. I have your forecast coming up again when I return, so please stick around. I'll give you a view of the next rainfall that's coming in.
Today's Look Who's 8.
All right, Thomas is turning 8. He loves to work hard and spend time with his friends and his family.
Happy birthday. If you know a special someone turning one of the 8s, we would love to feature them.
That's right. So upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website.
Stay with us. Allison Dairyland stops by next to tell us about the Dairy Bracket.
At Maxwell White, we want you to love your water. Clean and clear water free from bad taste and odors. The water professionals at Maxwell White will test your water and evaluate any existing equipment, providing the best solutions for you and your family. Call Maxwell White today. Water conditioning done right.
There's been a lot of talk about this Supreme Court race, but here's what's really at stake. Brad Schimmel wants to make sure women don't have the right to make their own health care decisions. If he wins, that right is gone. I'm Susan Crawford, a former prosecutor, a common sense judge, and a mom. And I trust women to make their own health care decisions. Brad Schimmel doesn't, but I always will. And that's why I'm asking for your vote.
It's the Early Buy Outdoor Sale at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota. Patio dining sets, sofas, and love seats, even loungers, they're all on sale. Take advantage of the biggest discounts of the year on outdoor special orders guaranteed. It's the perfect time to get what you want the way you want it. Plus, we'll give you free delivery on your outdoor furniture. Want it right away? We've got all our favorites in stock at pre-season prices. Big discounts and free delivery on outdoor furniture at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota.
The Silverado Trail Boss. And a little work. And a little play. And a truck that says no to nothing. And Chevrolet.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Well-qualified buyers can get 2.9% financing for 72 months on this Silverado. Or get $4,350 total value. Plus, current Chevy owners can get $4,000 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
This is our home. Family and Children's Center has been supporting families in La Crosse and Winona for over 140 years. As time has gone by, we've expanded our services to include abuse prevention, mental health treatment, and so much more. Visit fcconline.org to see how our nearly 30 programs are strengthening communities throughout western Wisconsin and southeastern Minnesota. Better tomorrows start with us.
Voters deserve to know what our records are.
Susan Crawford's record? Disturbing and dangerous. A 7-year-old girl sexually assaulted. The attacker faced 100 years. Crawford let him off with only 4.
I don't regret that sentence.
A 5-year-old violated. The predator should have rotted in prison. He got out in just 2 years. She protected them, not us.
I don't regret that sentence. I am proud of the work that I've done.
Susan Crawford, putting criminals over your kids.
Maxwell White wants you to love your water. Preventative maintenance helps to keep the love going. Maxwell White can get your equipment running right so it can last longer and save you money. Call Maxwell White today. Water conditioning done right.
All right, well, good morning to you. I have to tell you, icy roadway is happening today as we have a weather alert day for this morning. That includes our commute as well. I was driving to work, and still, even though they had just kind of plowed the roadways, there's still snow in between the areas where they didn't get. So all the way up to the bottom of my car. So you could be you should be careful for all of this snow that's still on the ground out there as well, even on the side roadways. Now, of course, is it spring-like today? I'm just kind of shaking my head. I don't know, but is it the real deal? Well, it is spring right now. Spring started at 4:01 this early morning, and as we get into it here, we'll also hold on to the possibility of looking at the roadway center. These look fantastic, man. That looks like you could almost eat off of that. Hey, take a look. You can see it near Toma. Folks going to Shelby in that other direction there, headed to Toma. That's where that truck is going right now. Looking pretty good on the roads there. They did a great job, a bang-up job. We get into Winona over in Minnesota here. You're looking at looking pretty nice as well. Oh man, those roads look good. So again, folks are traveling well out there currently, but still, as we get towards sunrise, it's going to get a little bit on the colder side. Those roadways are getting a little bit more on the icier side as well. Temperatures are going to be in the 40s mostly for a lot of folks. You'll see some upper 30s in there as well. Sunshine is abound for everyone today, despite having the early morning slushy start on the roadways. Now, we get into it, we'll have the winds, as I mentioned before, they'll be up to about 30 miles per hour. They're breaking down. That was at the 5 o'clock hour, going to the 6 o'clock hour, into the 8 o'clock hour. They break down, and by 9 o'clock, they're done. We get into 10 o'clock to the noon hour, and everything's pretty quiet out there for winds. The winds do come back on Friday, coming up from the southwest. They continue to move in. A little bit of light rain and snow kind of working in down to the south. You see the snow up to the north by Rhinelander. here. Snow's going to stay up to the north. Rainfall is going to be coming up from the south, circling around with this area of low pressure. And as we get into the evening commute, it's going to back down. We'll open up the skies a little bit. But then you take a look, getting some more snow kind of still working up to the north by Marquette, trying to get down towards Wausau into the forecast zone there. Eventually, we'll go back into Saturday. You have a little blip coming in for Saturday night. That kind of works in with a mix of rain and snow in the forecast. And so that's about maybe a 20% chance, if that at all, finishing out going to the overnight. But once we get into Sunday, man, oh man, we get into at least an 80% chance of rainfall coming in the forecast and possibly mixing in some rain and snow with that. You can see it by Eau Claire, Ladysmith, Wausau, getting to areas just north of Black River Falls. Eventually, everybody gets into it widespread going into Sunday around the 1 o'clock hour. So the afternoon, it picks up and continues on going into Monday, possibly with another round of a mix of rain and snow. Tomorrow we're looking pretty good. We'll have the clouds continuing to move in, but temperatures will be in the 50s. We'll also see that for Eau Claire as well. 50s move in as we go right into the morning hours. Into the afternoon, you'll see 50s for everybody else in the forecast, holding on to at least some cloudy skies with a mix of rain and snow. Then we get into this alert day. That'll be done as we finish out going into the noon hour. And then we have the PM showers coming in for tomorrow. 20% chance. It is light. Not everyone's going to get it. Mild conditions going into Saturday, and then of course we've got a little bit of rain coming in for Sunday, is an 80% chance, and then dropping down to a 40% chance on Monday, possibly a slight chance going into early morning on Tuesday.
All right, Art, thank you. New this morning, it is March Madness in Wisconsin, but we're not talking about basketball. Cheese is taking center court in a bracket-style showdown, and here to dish out all the delicious details is Wisconsin's 77th Allison Dairyland, Haley Heinzel. Good morning, Haley. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we're excited to see you. You've brought a delicious-looking display with you. What should we know about the bracket?
So the bracket is pitting 8 of the elite cheeses of Wisconsin against each other. We actually have over 600 varieties, types, and styles in Wisconsin, so I did the hard part narrowing it down to those 8. All the voting can be done online if you head to Allison Dairyland on Facebook and Instagram. The 2 going off today is Swiss and Oaxaca, and the voting for that will open at around 8 o'clock tonight.
Okay.
So tell me, Wisconsin makes 25% of the world's special cheeses. Is that true?
That is true. 25% of the global supply of specialty cheese, which is more than twice any other U.S. state. And that really is because of the quality of the cheese we have here in Wisconsin. We have nearly 1,200 licensed cheesemakers making cheese, and we win more awards for our cheese than any other U.S. state and any other country in the world.
Wow, okay. And so what can you tell us about these 2 cheeses going off today? One of them is spelled a little differently, so people might want to know, right, so they can know which to vote for.
So we've got Swiss, and then we've got Oaxaca. Oaxaca is that one. It's O-A-X-A-C-A.
Wow.
It's a little hard to pronounce, but that one is actually from Mexico, but it's almost styled like a mozzarella. So it's going to be a very familiar flavor, and it's like a good string cheese. There's a little bit of a difference in the way that it's made. It's great melted in a quesadilla or as a snack all on its own. And then we've got Swiss over here, which is always a fan favorite. Here I've got baby Swiss, if you haven't had that before. It doesn't have quite as many holes, you'll notice, as a regular Swiss cheese. That's because it's not aged as long. And it's got a little bit more of a milder flavor than a regular Swiss.
Okay,
so when will the championship cheese be crowned?
That will be right at the end of March. So right now we're finishing up those quarterfinals, getting those 8 narrowed down to 4. Then we'll have those semifinals heading off next week. So that's going to be Munster versus Parmesan, and then last night, who was it? It was Gouda, I think, that took the win over mascarpone. Yep, Gouda took the win, and then whoever wins this one will go against Gouda, and then we'll have that final round.
So as a joke, what's the betting line?
I would probably put Swiss over Oaxaca.
Oh, yeah.
On
Okay,
this
well,
round.
we should try it, right?
Yes,
Let's see what
absolutely.
We think. I'll let you grab yours, and we can see what we do. So how do we vote if we are interested in voting?
So you head to Allison Dairyland on Facebook and Instagram. You actually have to click on my profile picture, and that is going to pop up the story. That's where there's going to be a poll on there, and you can just click which cheese you like the best. And yeah, Oaxaca, I love Oaxaca.
Okay, I'm going to try that one now.
It's definitely a more unfamiliar cheese, and you'll notice some of the ones on the bracket might be ones that you're not so used to seeing in the grocery store. But with over 600 varieties, I want people to feel super comfortable going to the grocery store selecting Wisconsin
Very cool.
cheese.
Yeah, I've seen this on menus. Is it Oaxaca?
Oaxaca.
I've never tried it, but
I grew up in
mild.
California, so I'm pretty much used to it. I've eaten it all the time, so I'm holding on to Swiss.
Which one would you pick?
Well, the Swiss is really delicious, but you know, guess it is.
I'm sure.
And, you know, burritos.
Oaxaca's definitely the underdog. It's definitely the underdog. I think so. I think so.
I think I would choose it. I don't know if it's because it's so early in the morning. The Swiss is like a little much right now. I would choose this. I'm going with this. We'll see which one wins.
Okay. Yes,
we'll have to
I'm
check
very,
out
very
Instagram.
excited.
Yes, I know. This is such a great thing. Do you remember which cheese won last year?
It was cheese curds. So yes, cheese curds was like a shoe-in last year, which is why we took it off the bracket this year to give some other cheeses a little bit of time to shine.
Right, try some different ones.
Yes.
Okay, anything else we need to know, or we got it all covered?
If you are looking for Wisconsin dairy in the grocery store, you're going to want to look for the Proudly Wisconsin Dairy or Proudly Wisconsin Cheese badge to know you're supporting Wisconsin's $52.8 billion dairy industry.
Wow.
And if you want to find some recipes or learn more about those 600 varieties, types, and styles, you can head to wisconsincheese.com.
Okay, I do always find myself looking for the Proudly Wisconsin since you guys have visited us. So
Absolutely.
your campaign is working. All right, Haley, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
No problem. Stay with us. We're back after this.
During the spring savings event at PM Sleep Center, you'll save up to $400 on the Beauty Rest Black Collection. It's for a limited time, so shop for the best selection only at PM Sleep Center, giving La Crosse a good night's sleep for over 35 years.
Celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain, Wednesday, March 26th at the Viterbo University Fine Arts Center. They're still thrilling audiences with their offbeat humor and four-string virtuosity. Experience multiple musical genres, from ABBA to ZZ Top to bluegrass to Broadway, all played on the bonsai guitar. Order tickets at 608-796-3100 or online at ViterboFineArtsCenter.com.
I was in a very bad relationship. After that, I made it my mission to help people. Brad Schimmel really wanted to know, how can we help survivors? He got right in there with me and did the work that needed to be done. I know Brad, the person, and I know how passionate he is about helping people. Women, sexual assault victims, children. He has made it his life's mission to help families. I know that about him.
Style or substance. Somehow, it became one or the other. But there is another choice. Not stopping until you have everything in the GMC Sierra.
Or get 0.9% APR on 2025 Sierra 1500 models. Or get over $5,300 total value on select Sierra 1500 models.
Are you ready to build your future? Stella-Jones Corporation in Bangor is hiring and wants you to apply. The starting wage for laborers is up to $21 per hour with no experience necessary. We will train the right candidate. Stella-Jones Corporation is where safety matters and wages sustain a comfortable living. If you have what it takes and can stand behind our railroads, then we want you to apply today.
A 5-year-old girl violated. The predator faced up to 60 years behind bars. Radical Susan Crawford sided with him, released on a $500 bond, and lived across from a school. His sentence, just 4 years in prison. Now he's free, all because Susan Crawford and her warped, soft-on-crime agenda. Catch and release Crawford. Don't take the risk. Fair Courts America is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Save some green with PM Sleep Center's March mattress sale. Over 15 queen mattresses, $5.99 or less. Queen pillow top mattresses start at $3.99. Twin mattresses start at $159. Stop in soon at PM Sleep Center, giving La Crosse a good night's sleep for over 35 years.
The News 8 Plus app. Local news on your time.
Welcome back at 6:53. Time for your morning news now. A former Sparta pastor pleaded no contest to sexually assaulting a church member. 47-year-old Travis Becknell faces charges of inappropriately touching a woman after church revivals. According to the complaint, he also sent hundreds of text messages, some sexual in nature. The New Hope Fellowship pastor's plea deal requires sex offender treatment and 100 hours of community service. President Trump expected to sign an executive order today aimed at dismantling the Department of Education, one of his key campaign promises. Fully eliminating the department would require congressional approval. And money is pouring into Wisconsin's Supreme Court race at a record-shattering pace. The Schimmel-Crawford battle could double the previous $51 million total. Billionaires Musk and Soros are funding both sides of the seat. Eau Claire voters citing abortion as their top issue.
I don't think that we should be governed by a law that was passed before the Civil War.
We have a conservative, biblical worldview on everything. That's how we feel the greatest success comes from, even through the Constitution. I think that's what he stands for.
Wisconsin Supreme Court has heard a case challenging the state's 1849 law banning almost all abortion. They haven't issued a ruling. A quick reminder, News 8 is hosting a La Crosse mayoral debate 7 p.m. Friday live in our studio. You can watch that on 8.2 and digital platforms. La Crosse in-person absentee voting continues today. You can do that at City Hall from 8 to 4 or the Moog Cultural and Community Agency from 10 to 2. If you're in Eau Claire, you can vote at City Hall from 9 to 4. Election Day coming up on April 1st. Snow is forcing several... First, we're going to take a live look from the Storm Runner 8. This is downtown La Crosse right now. Between 6th and 7th Streets, you see here. Still some snow out there, still some slick spots on the road, but things aren't looking too bad. You should be all right on the road. Just try to give yourself a little bit of extra time. I'm sure it'll start melting soon. Art will give us that update in just a couple of minutes. But the snow is forcing several area schools to delay this morning. 2-hour delays now in effect for Hiawatha Valley Education District, Houston, La Crescent, Hoka, and Spring Grove. You can check our website, news8000.com, for the complete list.
And as you saw, as we looked at the roadways out there, they are a little bit wet. So as we get into the sunrise time, as we go into it just the next few minutes now, you're going to see a little bit of ice developing out there. So please be careful. Hence the alert day for us for icy roads. Hazardous road travel due to those icy roads continue for everyone, and that's through the morning hours. Then that weather alert day will be done. We'll get into some sunshine today, holding on to temperatures in the 40s mostly. Then the 50s start to come back as we get into tomorrow with a 20% chance of rain.
Dutch ecologists creating a fish doorbell to help migration. Online viewers watch a live stream from a river lock. When they spot fish, they click a virtual doorbell. This alerts staff to open the gates, letting fish swim to their mating grounds. The 5-year project has attracted millions of viewers worldwide. I wonder if our people in the control room have tried to get this live feed for us. I bet they have. We might be checking in on this maybe next week. I said not today. All right, a fish doorbell.
We'll stick with the cats.
Yeah, we will stick with the cats. We're okay with that. Well, of course, be safe out there on the roads. We'll see you back here at noon with another update. You can check news8000.com at any time for the list of school delays and closures. See you back here at noon. Have a great day.